Well, like, yeah, I mean, kind of.
That's why we kept the mesh on, so they would stick
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Like we do the scene, we let it cure. We just put like when everything cures, we put it up so we know that it flex. And after we put the epoxy on, we glue them together, I like that song.
James, Larry, and I have been making a concrete boat. We made like 4 models to test if they float. We came up with a more triangular design that we think works best. And today we are pouring the full-size boat that's 6 feet long by 4 feet wide. Yeah, so James and Larry came to one of our first canvas shows, and we kind of just hit it off. And their thing is points of sail, and my thing is the gear. So like, I've always been interested in boats because my dad loved to fish and stuff like that. So this is just something that is kind of like close to my heart, and it just felt like a good collaboration between 3 people. Like Larry has been doing a lot of the like 3D renders and the measurement to make sure the boat will float, and James has been facilitating the space and creating a lot of the design and like the materials that are needed to build the boat. And I've been doing a lot of the photography and the zine to document the project. So it's all like hand in hand. Everybody's like putting in the work to make one thing come together, which is a good feeling.
The mesh would be parallel to the seams. Perpendicular would make it a stronger bond. Yeah, so we're gonna do a layer of mortar, then mesh, and then another layer of mortar, then another layer of mesh. Yeah, the first layer of epoxy.
Cooking the boat, making the layers now. After putting the outline, putting the layer of mesh. So the mesh will be first is structural because like you have the concrete to be a bit more solid, and also it's have to tie the pieces together to keep them like together. But, long process, man. Hope we start pouring soon.
We kind of conceptualized it when a mutual friend brought me down to a gear art opening a couple months back in the winter, and I just really rocked with what they were doing. Like, that was the one where the whole wall was covered up, like no white space showing at all, like epoxy artworks. It was beautiful. I'd never seen anything like it, and started talking to Steve, and we just clicked. Like, figured we had to do something. So brought Larry over. We just chopped it up.
And found a way to work with something.
Yeah, we were just thinking like, what's something crazy we could do like that no one's done.
Yeah,
like,
the vibe out there was really experimental. Like, it was not like doing big design stuff, like really focused, really extremely close. It's like they were open to experimentation, really, and that's what they do all the time. It was okay, let's find a way to get there and see what we can do, you know. And that boat idea came. James proposed that boat idea. I was like, what? A concrete boat? And we finally found that they do those kind of exercises in engineering school, and we found a way to make a crazy design but apply the practice to it.
Yeah, like at Georgia Tech and MIT, they'll
Yeah.
do concrete boat races in the engineering departments.
Yeah,
But we figured, how can we do it with our touch, with what we're comfortable with? And so we were thinking like, the way we work, like, we got to seal this boat. Like they do all concrete. We don't even know how they do that,
Yeah.
but we know, like, I've done some work with epoxy in the past, and Steve uses epoxy a lot in his practice. So we figured, okay, we'll create this epoxy seal on the inside, reinforce it with mesh, and really create this layered kind of like mass that emulates both of our styles. It pulls the nautical side of POS and then has that like assemblage sort of feel of Gear Symbol.
Yeah, and the most complicated part of it is like really everything in this project is really in the opposition of two words, like concrete and boats.
The
like
earth.
how something that heavy floats, like, and that was a challenging part, how to make it float really. And a lot of research in shaping, a lot of sampling from 3D printing to ship studies and a bunch of stuff, proportion studies, and
A lot of discussion of process,
Yeah.
like figuring out exactly the way we were going to do it, what steps.
yeah,
And then even just today, like, we hadn't gone full scale like this, so we're figuring out, like, okay, how do we create the most strength out of the mesh in between the mortar layers? And like, we're just bouncing ideas off each other all the time. So I said we go perpendicular, and Larry said for the second layer we go perpendicular to that along with the seam. So it's like constantly rolling, improvising.
it's a work in progress really, and we don't know yet until the boat get into the water. Right there.
That's kind of what POS has always been about, like pulling from the world of nautical design and engineering, like aeronautics, this streamlined, very precise space, and how to like pull the inspiration, those improvements, those achievements, and pull that into like everyday life. And like what we did with the trimaran chair, we took inspiration from how the sail lifts up the hulls of the trimaran, like something very physical, like in a physics engineering space, and we just took that, brought it into more like industrial design art.
Yeah.
made a sittable sculpture
Yeah.
that does the same thing, where when you sit down the sling lifts the legs up like hulls.
Yeah, and this is in a most personal way. Those kind of project, the balance between arts and engineering is my daily work, because I'm studying architecture, and you have to constantly think and feel the way an idea stands. Like, okay, if you draw that shape, how to make it stand really. So, and drawing an idea is pretty simple in a sense, but like make it stand is hard. And this is what the engineering part of this boat project is, like how to make it work really, like how to make it flow, how to make it fold well, how everything works well. And that's the part that links POS crazy ideas to manufacturing part of it, like how to make stuff work really.
Figuring out the steps and the process to bring the
Yeah.
idea into reality, and that's
Yeah.
somewhere where we push each other a lot.
Yeah.
Like we both have complementary experience in design and manufacturing, so we're able to really combine that and bring things into life pretty quickly.
Yeah. That day we brought the boat to the dock, reloaded from the cars, and we put it on some rollers. I can remember seeing so many questions, anxieties on so many people's eyes, like, will the boat float? Did we seal all the parts enough? Is it like waterproof enough? Did we do all the calculation right? Is the height of the boat enough good to allow it to float? So many questions that came back and that brought a kind of tension on the set that day. We load into the water. James tried it with the ballast. It floats perfectly. We removed the ballast and we did few changes to make it work for Anna. The boat works really well and she was feeling so good into it. She was just on the river doing her thing. It feels like she did that her whole life. It was 4 months of work that came to reality in those moments, and it was feeling really good. Whatever you do, do it with conviction. Just keep breaking rules.